morning. I'm Lieutenant Daniel Berardinelli, and I thank you for our presentation. I have one question for Jeff. What was the best experience you had during your work? Thank you.
Best experience. I think, like so many of us, it's the friendships and the experiences that we get to share with people. The history is special, and it's nice to see the bigger picture. And I think that's kind of maybe what some of this diving allows me to do. But honestly, when I look at my photos now, I just think of great days and fun on the water and friendships. And you know, the perfect example is a couple of years ago, I was invited to Portugal and did some diving here, and have made some really wonderful friends. So maybe that's a bit of a cliche, but I just like the experience of the friendships of it. I hope that helps. Any other questions?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to ask, you were talking about that you are planning to make a 3D model of the wreck you were talking about. And are you going to use photogrammetry so that you are taking photos or videos, and with the frames you are creating the 3D model?
Yes, that's the plan. I'm not doing it myself. One of the advantages of belonging to a university is that we can have, depending on what we plan to do, we have lots of people that are not at all related with diving, for instance, but they have the technical knowledge and the equipments. If we ask them to, they can cooperate with us, and inside the university it makes it, well, sometimes at least, easier. We explain them what we want. So the idea, yes, is to use photogrammetry and then have the technicians to do the 3D model. We have that planned not only for this wreck, but for some other wrecks, because it's one of the, as we feel it, more interesting ways to, besides video and photograph, to show the wreck to people who don't dive and to tell the story. So yes, we are planning to use photogrammetry to do the 3D model. We have a team that I dived with before. We have done a kit. We assembled a kit of a wreck. It was extremely long and detailed work, but in the end it worked very, very nice. I don't have photos of that here, but I think that was the only time we choose to build a kit of a wreck. We will do with photogrammetry from now on.
Immi, I have a question for you. Just curiosity, for that deep dives, it's a deep dive, 100 meters. What is the average of the bottom time you do of the dive? Bottom time?
Yeah, of course, in 100 meters it's not many minutes.
Yeah.
We are trying to limit the total dive time into 3 or 3.5 hours. One reason is that the water is quite cold. It's +4 degrees under the thermocline, and very often we are diving in that time of the year that the water is really cold also on the upper parts of it. So if you are in 100 meters, it's about 15 minutes bottom time, but of course the shallower you come, the more time you have on the bottom.
Of course. Okay, thank you.
Okay. We have time for one more. We have to go to the cenote, but after you, we will go for the coffee break.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Just a question to Jeff. Since you've been diving in the Great Lakes for 30 years, I'm a marine biologist and I know the problem of the zebra mussel. My question is that is it still clearing the water now? Do you feel difference in the places where the zebra mussels are now settled, that now you have more visibility rather than 20
That's a really good question. In the last, I've seen so many changes from 30 years ago, and early on, there was this rapid explosion of mussels, and the visibility increased dramatically within about 5 years. We went from 2 meters to 20 meters. And then it kind of plateaued, and then it actually kind of dropped off, and we saw concentrations of mussels drop off. And this is just my observation, so there's no papers on this. And then we saw them drop off, and the visibility would decline, and it seems to have some sort of an equilibrium now. So I would say maybe we've plateaued, but there are areas in the lakes that just now seem to have plateaued at a very high level of visibility. Interesting how some lakes haven't. I don't know why, but there would be a whole study there, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.